Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome to my video. Welcome back if you've seen more and decided to return. That's great. This is another in my video series, Discovering Kelowna. I've set myself the personal challenge of seeing all 203 city and regional parks within this Kelowna city limits within 1 year. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. Things are going great. At the time that I'm filming this video, we are all encouraged to stay home, but we are allowed to go out as long as we maintain distance, as long as we're asymptomatic. This week, you can see here I am at the mouth of Mission Creek, a major monumental part of Kelowna, which sadly is not preserved for the public in the form of a park. Nevertheless, a landmark to be sure. And we're gonna continue our waterfront walkway series that we started from last summer. And an unofficial series, I guess, where we check out beach access parks and waterfront access parks. So this week, we're gonna start here at the mouth of Mission Creek, and we're gonna go south, hopefully as far as Thomson Creek. We'll see how far we can get. I hope you come along and see what kind of beaches there are to find in Kelowna. Hey, so here I am, my first park of the day. This is the Bluebird Road North Beach Access Park. Yes, there are 2 beach access parks on Bluebird Road. So this is an interesting park for a couple of reasons, actually. You know, a lot of the beach access parks, you think, it's just a right of way. It's just like a road that dead ends at the beach, and that's all there is to it. But this one is kind of a beach access park in transition. You know, I could tell walking in here that very recently it had just been, you know, kind of a lane, kind of a gravel road that ended at the beach. But now they're adding some features. You can see they've chained up a picnic table there behind me. They've also recently planted some trees. I'm not sure what kind, maybe some maples. We'll have to see when they when the leaves come out. And someone started trellised grapevines. So hey, public grapevines, that's great. I haven't seen that in any other park. So you never know what you're gonna find when you come out to these little beach access parks and things. You know, they're not all the same. The other thing that's interesting about this park, of course, is that it's probably the public park closest to the mouth of Mission Creek, which, like I said before, is a big landmark. You know, it's a big deal. And you can see it in the beach here. There are sandbars all along the beach because the sand that comes down, the current that comes out of the creek, it interacts with the lake water and it piles up the sand here. So even though the park itself, you can see behind me, is quite narrow, once it gets to the beach, of course, you know, anything below the high water mark is crown land. So once you get down to the beach, you can wander along in front of the very expensive houses that are down here. So it's a good one. It's someplace I'd like to come back and try swimming in the summer maybe. This is Bluebird Road North Beach Access Park. So here I am coming to you from the second park of the day. This is Bluebird Beach Park. So this is a great park because it is a park in transition. You know, I love to see new parks or parks that are being changed, parks that are being expanded and having things built on them. So this is a lot of fun for me. Up until 5 years ago, this park was Bluebird Road Beach Access South. Right, so you look behind me, you can see the lines of trees. You can see that it looks like a basic beach access park, the kind we've seen before. But 5 years ago, the city bought the 2 lots next door. It has since raised the houses that were there, and you can see that they are now wide, empty, and ready for some paths or some washrooms or whatever they want to put there. One of the coolest things is that the southernmost lot, you can see farthest behind me there, still has a lot of ponderosa pine trees and other underbrush. So this park has been expanded from a simple right-of-way into a almost 3-acre park. And so the city's hoping it'll be a major recreation destination for the North Mission and maybe the wider city. So still a lot to come. All it is right now is, you know, kind of a couple of empty lots with some native vegetation. You know, that's enough for me. Another thing it has is a very wide and expansive beach, which is great. People here love to go to the beach in the summertime. People come from far and wide around the province, Alberta, other places to go to the beach here. So it's good to have another big, wide city beach. So here we are at the relatively new and still unfinished Bluebird Beach Park. Hey, so here I am coming to you from my next park for this week. This is Belmont Park. So this is a really great park, actually. It's better than I expected. I thought it'd be all manicured, but it's actually got some nice natural habitats in it as well. Great for birds. I've seen a lot of birds here. Saw someone else out here with the binoculars checking out the birds. So in one way, you can look at this park as a extra wide, glorified walkway between Lakeshore and Gordon. But of course, it's so much more than that, because as you can see behind me, it has a beautiful pond which actually connects and goes south into another property, which is not technically part of the park, but is a continuation of Belmont Pond. So I'm currently standing in a swale that conducts water from Gordon west towards the pond, and there's another creek-like ditch on the other side of the central path here. So if you look around the other way, this looks like, a long straight pathway over towards Gordon. And what's interesting too is that there's an arboretum in this park. As you go along, periodically you'll see placards telling you what the species of tree in front of you is. Of course, they don't look a lot like what they're going to look like in the summer right now with no leaves on them, a little harder to identify. But it's really interesting. In a couple places, the placards are still there and the trees are gone. So I'm not sure how long this arboretum has been here. I'm not sure if it's connected to the arboretum at Thomson Marsh Park. I visited that one a few months ago in the winter, and that one was put in the 90s. So this could be related, could be of a similar time, or it could be a completely independent arboretum less than a block away. Anyway, this is a really fun park. Even if you just want a nice way to walk from Lakeshore to Gordon or back the other way, this is a lot more fun, I think, than walking on the street. This is a beautiful place. If you want to come see birds, it looks like a hot spot to me. And if you want to come identify some trees, they got you covered. So this is my kind of park, Belmont Park. Hey, so here I am in my fourth park for the week. This is Lakeshore Road Beach Access. So this looks a lot like other beach access parks we've seen, but it doesn't seem to be at the end of a road. Lakeshore Road, of course, is a long, roughly north-south road that runs adjacent to the lakeshore. Usually there's a Lakeshore Road, then there's a strip of houses, and then there's the beach. So this isn't really the end of any other right-of-way. It just is a way for people to have periodic access. It's the only beach access park between Bluebird Beach Park, which is to the north of us on the same bight here, on the same bay, whatever the technical term might be, all the way down past the mouth of Thomson Creek. So it's a simple park. There's no picnic table here. There's one garbage can, no bench, but somehow I find it really beautiful. It doesn't seem like a grubby back alley. It just seems like a nice, simple way to get to the beach. It's got a little bit of grass. It's got these nice trees you can see behind me. And of course, if we look around the other way, we have a beautiful beach, and we have a beautiful view right across the lake. We can see West Kelowna and Mount Boucherie. From here, you can look up north all the way to the mouth of Mission Creek, and south all the way down to about where Sarson's Beach is. So the view is amazing across the lake and up and down the beach. There's a lot of beach here below the high water mark. A lot of places for people to go and walk the beach. So it's a lovely little piece of Kelowna, and I'm really glad I came to Lakeshore Road Beach Access. Hey, so here I am coming to you from my next park of the week. This is Thomson Creek Park. So this park preserves the lower part of Thomson Creek. So if you remember, if you saw the video where I visited Thomson Marsh, which was around the Mission Rec Center, that was in the winter. Now it's the late spring. But that marsh, Thomson Marsh, is drained by Thomson Creek, and it drains into Okanagan Lake, of course. And this is not a well-developed park. It's really just there to preserve the creek. And there's an upper part and there's a lower part, and they're beautiful and creektastic, but they don't really have any developed features. There's no official trail. I'm kind of on an unofficial trail here along the creek. But the main thing I think about this, especially the lower part of Thomson Creek, is that it doesn't just drain the Thomson Marsh. It drains all the suburban land along in the North Mission almost. From Mission Rec Park all the way down to the Bellevue Creek. A lot of it is drained through this, which is why at this time of year you can see the creek is very high. So it's a lot of the storm sewers in this part of town drain into the lake through this creek. So that's always fun to see. Thomson Creek, not really a destination park, but a beautiful place to have a stroll if you like to look at short creeks that drain lots of water. Hey, so here are my next park for this week. This is the new Hobson Beach Park. So until last year, this was an empty lot, and the actual Hobson Road beach access was just to my right there, past these trees. These trees used to be the property line. So 2 years ago, this residential property was bought by the city and is being turned into a park. They've gotten far enough that they have raised the house that used to be here, and they've put up a sign saying Hobson Beach Park. So people are coming, people are swimming and sunbathing and having a good time. There's a dock here, which is great. Now, I've been to a lot of beach access parks. Not every one of them has a dock to jump off of and swim at. So that is super great. And all in all, this park, I think, is really doing its job of contributing to the series of waterfront parks that the city is establishing all along the Okanagan Lake coast. So if you want a nice new place to come and have a swim, it's not a very flashy park yet, but it is large and it is lovely. So check out Hobson Beach Park. Here I am at my next park for the week. This is the Central Okanagan Small Boat Association. It says private property, members only, but that's because it is parkland that is being used by this non-profit organization. So this is a group of people who love to use small boats and who would love to help you use small boats. You can come here and you can rent kayaks and little sailboats and stand-up paddleboards and windsurfing equipment, and for reasonable prices. It's all run by volunteers. This is not the yacht club, so if that sounds interesting to you, you can see on the sign their website is cosa.bc.ca, and they are in no way sponsoring this video, but it's marked as a park on the city website, so I came down to check it out. This is right next door to the Hobson Beach Park. So most of this lot is taken up by the COSA building there, and a little sliver of it on the north side used to be the Hobson Road beach access, just a little path, but as we saw, that has now been expanded, so that's super exciting. I think that's great. The new park is not well publicized, but it is present. I did see it and stand within it. So anyway, you can come down and check out either one or both. Hey, so that was our walk for this week. It was a great one. We saw 7 beautiful parks. We started here at the mouth of Mission Creek, and we headed south through the Lakeshore of the North Mission. We saw Bluebird Road North Beach access. We saw the new Bluebird Beach Park. We saw Belmont Park. We saw Lakeshore Road beach access. We saw Thomson Creek. We saw the new Hobson Beach Park, and we saw the Central Okanagan Small Boat Association. So 7 parks is great. And I really was excited to see that 2 of them were brand new parks. They're so new, just in the last year or two, that they're not even listed as independent parks under their full names on the city website. So that's the kind of thing I like to get out and check out. You can only do so much research online about a place. Going there is a whole other experience. Now, let me address something. The reason I came back here for my closing shot is that the end of this video was filmed 2 months after the beginning of this video. Yes, this was my quarantine video, if you will. So at the beginning of April, when I shot the beginning of this video, the water level was much lower in Mission Creek, and because things were locked down and non-essential travel was limited, I decided to stay home and not promote going out to parks, even though many people still did. But now that things have eased up a little bit, I feel totally comfortable going to local parks and keeping my distance from other people. I think that's a healthy and fine thing to do. So here we are. You can see that now it is the beginning of June and the water level is much higher in Mission Creek, and I think that's really fun to check out also. I know flooding has done a lot of damage because people have put a lot of things in the way of the water, but I think it's a really amazing natural phenomenon to witness, and I look forward to witnessing it every year we're living in Kelowna. So I hope you had a good time watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you didn't miss me too bad over the last 2 months. And if you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe, because I'm back on the track and I'm still trying to get my challenge done. I took a 2-month pause, but I still got 2 months left, and I got lots of exciting and interesting parks to see. We're going to see them in the summertime when it's sunny. It's going to be super fabulous. So yeah, subscribe, like, do all that stuff, and I will see you next week.